Hey everybody, Teacher Amber here. So let's talk about what you need to have to pass the VIPKid or for your VIPKid interview. So before I talk about what you need to have, let's talk about scoring and pay a little bit so you understand about that. We'll talk about thinking about live or recorded version, and then we'll go into what you need. So I wanted to talk about scoring and pay because that's how you get your base pay is based on your interview, but also so you get points for your teaching experience, your education level, and also points throughout the interview. So the points are put into an algorithm, and then that's what determines your base pay. And so I go into more detail on that and mentioned in my money video, so feel free to check that one out if you want more detail about that. You could have less experience and less education, but do really well in your interview and get paid the same or more as somebody who has more experience and education. So just to keep that in mind. And just to review a little bit, the base pay can be anywhere from $7 to $9 per class, so per 25 minutes. And typically people get about 8. I've heard that there have been some who have gotten about 8.50, and you could get 9. It sounds like there haven't been anybody who has, or if there has, we just haven't heard about them yet. So let's move into talking about live or recorded demo. So some things to think about. If you decide that you want to go live, you will be teaching an adult in China who's working at VIPKid. They're working inside a cubicle, and they might have people walking behind them, or you might hear some other sounds, but you do have somebody who's responding to you, and so then you can respond back to them. It's something that you schedule. So if you're somebody who needs something that's up, I need to do this at this time, so I will get everything ready by that time, if that's something that's helpful for you. So those are just some things to think about. If you do the recorded version, some things to think about are you have it's more convenient. You can do it on your own time. If you are somebody who likes to procrastinate and put things off, then maybe go with the live version. You also, with the recorded, if you record it and you didn't like it, you could do another recording and send in the one that you like best. Or if you just wanted to do two and send in the best one, you could do that as well. For the recorded one, in your mind, you're going to need to pretend that there's a student responding to you and then you responding to them. So you would need to pretend like the student has made a mistake and then respond to that pretend mistake that you made, that you created in your mind, because they won't hear the mistake, they won't know it, they just see you correcting the mistake. So just some things to keep in mind as you are deciding. All right, so let's talk about things to have for your interview. Definitely lighting. You want to have good lighting. They want to know that the students will be able to see you very clearly. You don't have shadows on your face. There aren't glares off of your background. For my interview, I did not find this to be a problem because I did it in the middle of the day. So I had the window open, natural lighting, and then also just the light in the room, and that was plenty for that. So I did not worry about lighting until I was hired. Then once I was hired, because then teaching classes early morning, evening, later at night, it's dark. So you're going to definitely need more lighting than just a regular room light. And so when I first started, I had all of the lamps that I had in my house just shining on me. And then eventually my husband was like, you need a better light. So then we purchased an LED light. Let's see, can you see that? Ah, there you go. That we just stuck on the top of our ceiling. And so that's all I use. right now, and I'll look that up and add that to the notes below. So if that's something that you're interested in getting, and it's it's totally up to you. If you're something that you're like, well, I'm doing this, I might as well purchase it now. And not that you have to purchase the one that I have, but you purchase lighting, then go for it. Or if you're like, I'm just gonna focus on the interview, get through the interview, and then get things that I need for class, you can do that as well. And why I say that is you decide when you're going to start opening up slots. So it's not like, oh, you're hired, you're starting the next day, you need to be prepared. So I was hired the last month of school teaching at a brick and mortar school. And I was not ready to open up slots, and so I just did not want to start at the end of school. So I did not open up any slots, so I didn't making sure that I wasn't getting any bookings. And then once school ended, that's when I started opening up my slots for parents to book me. Once I was ready, I had my classroom set up enough to start teaching. Okay, so also you'll want to have an educational background. For my interview, I just stuck up, stuck up that sounds kind of funny, a map behind me, and that's all I had. Now I have found out that you should have, something like a map or something simple. Look in your house, see what you already have. Don't go buy anything unless you want to. But then also, you're going to want to make sure that you have your name displayed and your reward. So I'll talk a little bit more about the reward at the end, and then I'll go into even more detail in another video where I'll be showing you step by step how to practice for the interview. If you want to print something off, you can just go to Teachers Pay Teachers, and I just Googled VIPKid name tag or VIPKid things and free, and this was something free that I downloaded and printed off. If you want something like that, I mean, it can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. And also make sure that you have a solid shirt. It used to be when I got hired, you needed to be wearing an orange shirt. Now it just needs to be a solid color shirt. Be sure that you have a headset or earbuds. So when I did my interview, I had earbuds, just the ones that come from with your phone. Because if you don't, especially if you're doing the live video or the live demo, then there will be an echo on the other person's end, and that's not going to be very fun and probably not get you a whole lot of points. So make sure you have something. I'll go more into detail on that in the next video on practicing and preparing for the demo. But just one thing to keep in mind is that if you don't have something that's right here when you're making sounds like to be sure to hold it up to your mouth so that they can hear it. That was something that I needed to do that I didn't in my interview. So I'm just sharing all of these things that you could have. Don't feel like everything has to be absolutely perfect, but definitely give it a good shot. Do your best. And then, like I mentioned, you're going to want to have your reward posted. So here I have my reward is a monkey getting to eat a banana. So I'll go more in detail on the rewards. But then when the student gets a reward, then I would just draw a banana here and then post it back up. So if you don't have a monkey and a banana, definitely just print or just find something that you already have. It could be something simple like, draw a face on a piece of paper and then they get a part of the face, or draw a big open mouth and they get a tooth. Unless you want to go all out and have something very creative. But we'll talk more rewards in the next video. Also, you want to make sure that you do have at least two different props. So it could be a whiteboard and a marker so that you're writing the phonics here. It could be flashcards for the phonics. One of the phonics words is leg. You could have something that has a leg and show leg as you're doing the phonics. The objective for the interview demo are feelings, so happy, sad, angry. You might have a whiteboard where you draw the feelings. Maybe you have some different puppets or emojis or printouts. You want to print something out, you show the different feelings. So you'll definitely want to show the different feelings using your own face in TPR, but that's another way that you could have a prop. Um, you might want to have, oops, oh, my ball's down there on the floor, but a ball, there's a shoot the ball section. So I would choose at least two of these different props. These are just some ideas to get you started or get you thinking. When you see the actual lesson, you might think of a different prop that you want to have, some sort of puppet is always a good one to have, especially if the student's not understanding you, then you can model what to say. So I could say, how, if the student is repeating back to you, if I say, how are you? And they say, how are you? Then I might say, how are you? I'm happy. How are you? So, but I'll get more into demonstrating that type of thing in the lesson, just to get you thinking about what you might need to start collecting, and definitely make sure that you have a great internet connection. I have an Ethernet cord, so I think Ethernet cords are required. I don't think I got that until after I was hired, but definitely if you have an Ethernet cord, I would suggest plugging that in or making sure that you have great internet. You can always just type in speed test in Google to test the speed of your internet. But I hope that that was helpful and that you have an idea of how to prepare or things to get. And I will see you in the next video on practicing and what and the lesson, that the actual lesson for the interview. So I will see you next time. And as always, if you'd like me to be your personal coach, see the notes below and I'd be happy to help out. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.